see us all.
I'm Hasina, checking in from Newcastle, South Africa, and yes, do I want to record? That could be used very metaphorically too. I feel there's a lot of movement, and between the week's electricity and water and connecting during load shedding just now, just settling into the movement and flowing. So I'd like to slow down and record everything. It's a very exciting week.
I'm Amelie, checking in from Amsterdam. Rainy day. And I want to say a special, deep gratitude and thanks to Hasina. In the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep, I was listening to your last 2 minutes post where it saved my night. Because you just said, check in what you feel right now. It's the most important lesson ever.
Calling in from Cork, Ireland. It's a beautiful sunny morning and just feeling so grateful, so happy to see you all too. Thank you.
Hello, Miguel calling from Figueras in Spain. Also very, very, very happy to be with you. Well, sometimes I feel, well, I don't know what can be my contribution to the community, but well, here I am, and let's see. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Anya. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, sometimes I do have difficulties with my own voice in the background I'm in. So this is it, where I am today. And it seems to be a little bit of a life theme. So good morning to you, good day to you, wherever you are in your hearts.
I'm here in TBA, France, and I've got a lot blossoming and going on, trying to write grants and organize projects and all that kind of thing, and just trying to, with this intention of sort of up-leveling my impact and abundance, and so just trying to managing that in myself and in my how it lands in life. And yeah, just Anne-Marie just offered me to fill in for her for a speaking gig where I can do practice that, showing up with other evolutionary leaders on a sort of world stage. So very excited and happy about that.
I'd like to just add a little self-reflection. As I mentioned when we first opened, I was waiting, and I initially thought, oh, Hasina's internet is down, or the power is down. And I was just continually looking outside myself as the cause. And then realizing that we begin at 10:30. And what a great reflection of how easily I can go to finding some wrongdoing and not owning it in myself. So I just wanted to underscore that here today, my life lesson showed up. Hopefully one of many. Thank you.
That's often my life lesson too.
Join the club.
Keep coming till we get this darn thing.
Don't we all do this?
Join the club. Thank you, Brian. Yes, yes. Yes, so many lessons in every moment. Huh? Every moment of growth. Yeah. My husband is at home. He's ill, so I might need to
Oh.
pop out to see if he was sleeping still just now, so to see if he needs something. Yeah.
But does he need a wave of us as a big wave of healing? We can do that.
He's off here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I always offering my hand, you know that.
Yes, it's very sweet also. So we have him, we have Robert,
Yeah.
which also needs our intention, or we follow the call of Annelies, and I think also Sabina called for Mr. Assange to be in that very space which is ongoing. So there might be space for healing, silence, and minutes. Should we start with that so that we can just be a little, even a deeper presence also for all of us?
I can add my husband as well. With the beginning of Alzheimer.
Yes.
Hmm.
Do we want the bell or should we just be silent? What do we want? Yes, go ahead, please. You're on mute, yes, so we have to, if you want us to hear.
Shall I, Brian?
Please.
Thank you all. Let's continue.
Yes, thank you. I can feel it here too. So it's a special day today, 29th of February. Being aware of that and also in awe that it's already the end of February. And also just acknowledging the rhythm of life. Nothing to be done about it. Yeah. And tonight we will be having an event that is partly is a fundraising event, and it's a sharing why the gathering in Palenque in service of the prophecy of the eagle, condor, gazelle, and hummingbird is of value for the whole of humanity. So some of the council members are going to express that from their perspective as some of the allies, which we as the Hague Center Bridging Continents are one, and David Gershon and Danilia are also going to share why we feel this is so important. So it's kind of coming from a sharing and making it clear and putting it into a way that it can be shared with others. So I've been last night, we've been preparing, or in the middle of the night, and that's also part of my day to just really feel how I can give words to it that can come across in a way to people that also might be a little bit further away of this kind of work. So that's at 6 our time. So I appreciate just sharing that with you, because I know that immediately kind of gives me a support in my back of doing that. Yes. So I just wanted to share that, and I want to share a little bit more about the Hono movement about last week, but maybe first hear some other voices. I'm also curious about Lisa and Brian, because yeah, I know you're in this phase of still totally in Krakow and also bridging to other continent. So, and Miguel, you might also want to share a little bit, whatever comes up for you, and whenever you feel that you would like to share, just feel free. That's how we are now, yeah, in a little bit smaller group. It's more easy for everybody just to share.
I'll share a little bit about our plans. Thank you for inviting that. So we had been volunteering for the One Humanity Institute, and Lisa and I really been holding a stand for peace, peace amongst all participants, and finding a pretty major polarity within those involved based upon support for Palestinians and support for the Israeli Jewish people, and for Jews around the world and Palestinians and the Arabic nations. This is really big, and from our experience as compassionate listeners, we have found a great benefit in listening and speaking from the heart and building those skills. So the One Humanity Institute has invited us to foster some healing within the community. And so Lisa and I have offered a weekly session leading up to at the end of March, we will begin our packing, and we fly to California on April 15th. Now, we're headed back to our small city of Ojai, which is an international city of peace. And this war has really divided the population of where we're moving to. And after the last couple months of the city council dealing with this polarity, they just approved a resolution for ceasefire. This is a city of 7,500 people. And that approved resolution still has a city divided. Not that people don't want a ceasefire, but there are still major divisions in the population. So it's not like that we're going to be vacationing in California. And obviously, any of you that follow politics in the United States, you know that the country is really in a major divide politically. So we will continue our compassionate listening work. And both for the Unity Earth community with our Monday night groups, and specifically with the One Humanity Institute community on Tuesday nights. So that's a little summary. We will clearly miss being here, but we will keep our hearts open to either very late night visitation. So thank you all.
No, thank you, Brian. I think you expressed it so beautifully that I don't have to add more. Like on a personal level, it's for me always the invitation, how can I hold the whole humanity in my heart? And though I clearly have preferences, but seeing in a way that we are all divine beings and connecting with that part and being curious to understand the other, where they are coming from and why they are acting as they act. And that, like in my introduction this morning, sharing that we met in a coffee place with another beautiful peace builder and talking about empathy, compassion, compassionate action, and how to listen with an open heart even to a perpetrator, and how is it possible when there's still not a ceasefire, when there's still war going on, and how huge this challenge is individually and collectively, and also seeing the little one can do, and on the other side, how much one can do just staying in their own inner peace, and where life has put us all in a very unique way. I really believe we have our purpose, and some are born to be a very activist, and others might just meditate in the Himalayas. So how to be the true self, who we really are, and follow with confidence and connectedness our journey. So So in that way, we feel, as you have heard, that our mission here in Krakow is completed with great gratitude and love in my heart about the culture and whatever we experience or I experienced. The call is going to Ojai now. So, and yeah, we'll miss Europe. I'm European, as you know, and sometimes I miss the European culture. But I feel more and more it's not about me, it's more where life wants to put me. So thank you.
Thank you both. Welcome, Annelies and Anja. Please go ahead, and then Annelies can settle in and check in.
I'm just full of gratitude and full of blessing, and it went so much in resonance with me what you shared, Brian and Lisa, actually. And I think in the World Peace Group chat, I read something that also resonated with what I heard and listened just right now. This being European and being the European being and listening to that, what it means to be a European being. It's a little bit of being a peaceful one. And that it really resonates in me what you shared just right now. And sometimes we are seen as the ones that are carrying that world war energy and everything, but a lot of us are carrying that peace energy because we consider it as a thing of the past and which we are also carrying. So I just want to share that really deeply from my heart, and thank you for bringing that up to be that European and walk for that and walk with that in your environment. So full of gratitude. Thank you.
I'd like to pick up on that, but I just want to check with Annelies. Yes, there she comes. We did a minute of silence, sending healing energy in as much as we could, resonance with how you are guiding us last week. And so we started with that in the 1 minute, also offering Marta some energy, some loving energy, and some other people that we were putting in our minds.
Yes, well, checking in from Vreeland in the Netherlands. My name is Annelies. I live close to the river. It's streaming, and it's really like a beautiful wave at the moment. I'm so grateful to be here with you, and also just picked up a little bit on what you, Lisa and Brian, probably also together in your divine merge of the divine masculine and the divine feminine we're doing for Europe. And I was just ending a conversation where I was asked what we were doing here, and then I tried to explain that we work energetically for peace and love, but that we did not, we're afraid to touch upon the pain on places that have noticed so much hurt, and that we open our hearts for that and raise energies. And so this is, I'm myself in this process of this merge. I'm making a giant leap, quantum leap, I suppose. I truly do not know, but I just know that the new baby is born. It's called Bella, and it's going to be a center. And I'm very grateful to say something more about it at another moment. But I also want to add that I feel very strongly for Europe as a center. That is, I think, where my deep listening began in a group which was called Co-Creating Europe. which I was invited in by Anna Marie, and where we were with amazing women who all had their special vocation, and that was really an arousal. They really had to do that. And I also wondered in that time, how can they bring that over and over again? But now I understand it's a vocational arousal. You just have to bring that. And it's not that I just suddenly understand that, but it does make, if you find your own vocation and bring that to the world. And this is what's so beautiful, what we're doing here, that we can do that so diverse, and with live energy and cosmic energy. And so I'm very grateful. I just wanted to share this, and I'm in. Thank you all.
Thank you, Annelies, and thank you for wording it in a way that I think, Miguel, you will also recognize a lot of that practice of Barbara Marx Hubbard, I presume, because if I recall rightly, you were also coming from a little bit of that field. Am I right? Would you like to share something?
Yes.
I was asking Mikael.
Oh, Mikael. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, sorry, I might not have said it properly.
Okay, because I just want to add that
Oh,
that
go ahead.
this really has made a difference. This is exactly her supra-sexual love is making a difference in my life now. So just want to add that.
Yes, I was hearing it. Please go ahead.
Yes, well, what I would like to share is that I recently got retired from my job that I was a teacher for more than 30 years, and it's a new phase in my life. In a sense, I feel like trying to find a way that I can, as I said before, how can I contribute the best to our community. And so in a sense, life at that time feels like being, well, what I feel is like being an urban monk. Uh, Maybe this is the contribution that I can make, I don't know. And at the same time, holding my heart for all the disturbances that are happening in the world. So so beautifully you have exposed already, just being this field of resonance for this healing, loving energy that can contribute to in a way that maybe we don't even know. That's what I can share. Not much more. No projects at all in a sense. But well, this is what is now around my life at the moment. I'm very happy to join these calls. That in a sense is kind of reconnecting. For many years I have been not very much in touch with Barbara Marx-Huber's work. In a sense, I was very involved during 3 or 4 years around 2012. And then I don't know why life brought me to other places and I lost touch with her work. So in a sense now it's like feeling reconnecting again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And could you perhaps share what kind of teacher you are? What were you teaching, and what age groups were you teaching?
Yes, secondary school. My students were mainly from 18 onwards. Most of them 18 to 20. And my subject was well, I studied economics at the university, and it was professional training in business administration. That was my subject.
Thank you.
Hello, Miguel. I just wanted to say, I just remembered I was in a group with you from Barbara Mark Hubbard's around 2012, 14, something like that. Now I remember the teacher.
Yes, yes, I remember you as well. Yes, nice to re-meet again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Suzanne, are you ready to check in, or do you first want to settle a little bit more? You want to settle in? Okay, good. You just settle in. I was just, it's for me really heartwarming to hear Europe raising, here suddenly being more explicitly named actually in this thread I'm hearing. Because one of the things that is the focus, I think, what I would like to ask for support here in this call is that we actually do focus for the coming period of time how we can serve Europe. And that was also the call from Emmanuel that we met last week, and also even Michael, that they are saying, okay, can we somehow bring together conscious European leaders, and in the case of Emmanuel, a very clear time frame in May in Ibiza, in the event there, and for Michael, a time frame in August. So there seems to be a rhythm, because we also have in June World Unity Week, and we have in September Peace Week, the convergences that we are always exploring whether we can show up, contribute somehow. So that was one of the things that I was wanting to share. How do we feel that we can really explore a little bit more with more focus? Where do we see in Europe pockets of resonance and coherence showing up that we might love to connect with, are already connected with, would like to activate, would like to have deeper conversations with? Because what the live events are actually inviting us back into is to have real life experiences in these conversations. We went, of course, into COVID, we practiced, and we really developed this very strong capacity to have these sacred spaces online. And now we're noticing there's more and more also a longing to have hybrid, not only hybrid, but really also come together and then come back. So not taking the one or the other, but seeing how we can compassionately weave that together, which Brian and Lisa, you of course have also been doing with Oshwensin and Krakow, and then the online communities, but for Europe. So that's what we're being asked from different sides, who to connect to. Can we bring in the conscious ones in Europe? Can we learn from each other? Can we share our learnings across the continents as well? But also from Annette, Annelies, I spoke with her, who was one of the initiators of Co-Creating Europe, Annette Kaiser. I spoke with her Friday morning. And she sent me, she's in India, so she sent me in the middle of the night to this morning also a message that she really once again wants to see how she can serve, that we really bring together people to see what we can learn from each other and shift and manifest. So that's my and our invitation. Kara and Hasina are also involved in that. Ibiza, we can put the link again in, and think about whatever forms. Do we want to do a little bit more of an inquiry here? Do we want to do it separately? Do we want to? Do you have ideas of people that might want to come to Ibiza to have a deep inquiry with? And do we want to prepare that? What makes your heart sing, as you know, is my invitation.
I resonate with this.
Thank you.
So keep me informed, please.
I've just signed up to go to Ibiza with my husband. We're both going to go.
Oh, how wonderful, Juliet. Great.
Really excited.
Let's come back to that. Yes, great.
You could see I was resonant with that, because always hold space for co-creating Europe. I just did not end the project, and so I'm very happy. It's new, and of course we can build on beautiful things what are there, and also see what is here already, because I see that Anja is going to be active in Switzerland, Suzanne. So there are some threads already.
Yes.
And I feel there are so many communities that are popping up, which might be interesting to reach out to, explore with. And I really would like to ask what you see, Anne-Marie, as focus point, because you want to bring more focus. So what's in the middle of that? What do we circle around? That's what I would love to gain some clarity on.
Go ahead, Anja. Anja, go ahead, please.
I don't want to interrupt Suzanne's.
Oh, she wanted more time to not check in yet.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there is. Instantly, I had in mind all those grandmothers councils and grandmothers across Europe, grandmothers here and there, and everything. So in my spiritual journeys, I was given a name, little grandmother. I don't know exactly what it means, but it is a tiny thing, but it is a big thing also. So growing into that, I think it's deeply listening and connecting and seeing where the next generation is. So I can connect to the grandmothers that are active in Germany. So there's a beautiful place called Externsteine. It's one of those places connected to the ley lines, connected to blah, blah, blah. So I recently had been there again for ceremony. So there is a crowd, there is a community. There are a lot of communities which are somehow like competing with each other. Where is the sacred place? Where are sacred places in Germany? Is it next door here, or is it somewhere around? So there are already things there. There are groups. So where is the wave? Where is this big river to connect to? And where are the tiny rivers? So I think a little bit of a hesitation to bring all those things together is that that the communities fear to go under the river of the next plush. So a little bit of this European resonance, which I carry really deeply in my heart, and which is coming out like a fountain every time, is I'm honored to have served somebody that is having a global voice. So the ones with the global voice should be on the stage to have that global voice. But each voice, each and every voice is important. So whatever one voice has to say in the whole, it's as important as the other things. And I attended Indigenous meetings, Indigenous leadership meetings, where the Europeans didn't have a stage, they didn't have a voice, they didn't have a face. So I think it's not that there are no faces, that there are no voices, but they are not showing up as that's my lineage and I can refer to it 5,000 years back and I name it like that, blah, blah, blah. It's so different. And that's somehow a stone where you fall in that competition of which voice has to come, because we have seers, we have really wise women, we have it next door, just like we had it always. And how to name that?
Wonderful.
How to name that? So that's in me, and I can really bring that together. And I know the people that are active in that field. I connected, for example, to Catherine, which is a geomantic and has experiences. So they're working with that. Grandma Flor de Mayo had been there, and she offered and gave them a peace bundle, which is connected to the Mayan tradition. So behind the scenes for years and years and years, there's a flaw already there. So which tapestry are we weaving into that? So that's what I have in mind and just freely share.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Can I add one thing is that's trust that persons show up. You cannot think of groups. Mostly one person is, I am one of the voices from a large group. And we trust each other, taking the place in the moment it is needed. And the elders also, they trust on, like Miguel, say he's a monk, we really trust on the persons who are silent and holding. And the elders has especially this sort of energy. So it's not anymore of competing and who is showing up. It's just the trust and the holding. And then you feel the moments that you have to come out and speak and join in a group, or as I do in this group. And I frequently report things from this group to my background group when I feel it is needed to tell. As I also in the last ceremony for the first time, I used Brian's, well, of course, many of them also knew Hubbard, peace moment. So there comes interconnections within all of us. We have to trust that. And then otherwise it's going too big and too stone. And then work on the weaving between the old and the new. As I feel as being a future person, light worker, being born for the future, and connect with the old wisdom of indigenous people, but not become one of them. I cannot. So it's very specific weaving work, match weaving work, what we are doing. So also to say to Miguel, it's very important. I thank you for being a monk and holding space. And to all of you, I thank you for that. I can feel that, and I do it also for you and for Anne-Marie. And
absolutely,
this is the most deep moment for elders, and to check in every moment there. I'm here.
Just wanting to add something a little deeper in this thread, that I feel Europeans lack this sense of who are they, their indigenous people, really? And that also makes it possible for us to bridge the realm where we are active in. So I would really love to go out where people are less conscious, to raise this consciousness about that feeling for something which is new. This makes it more possible to weave it in a maybe playful way, by experiencing this, that we have our own shamans, and go back to this history, what you were talking about, Anya. Yeah, and this is for me the new, that we come from ourselves, but we do not do this for ourselves. We really invite people who we do not know yet, or we look for people who we do not know yet, and who are less conscious as we are. So this is the bridging, what you are speaking of, Amelie, I suppose.
Juliet. I'll just finish this.
Sorry, yeah, it's Sorry?
I'm just saying I'll just finish this circle and share something, and then I'll come to you, Suzanne.
Thank you. Just this week, it's really, I've been focusing on continuing this conversation and expanding it beyond the anthropocentric, beyond the human-centered consciousness, and recognizing and trying to get in touch with our lingua franca as not only as humanity, but a lingua franca for the earth. And actually, it's a lingua franca for the universe. It's a universal mother tongue, so that we can really expand our community and the people who we want to commune with, and that we can bring in into, not into an enclosed circle, but bring into the conversation, and just working with what is that mother tongue, and realizing, you know, that if you want to speak to the trees or the nature elements or the rocks or the water or the animals or the plants or another people that don't speak your language, the mother tongue really is empathy. It's generating within ourselves that capacity. And I think this is what we're doing with Bridging Continents, which is so beautiful. It is learning, as Brian and Lisa are doing, this language of peace, which is first of all the stillness within, and then the deep listening to whomever you're wanting to commune with, and then through the heart and through the real caring to commune with them, and respecting and honoring that they are life, be able to start having a communication. And one thing that came up too was that you can never do this with people that you, or with things, or with beings, or whatever, that you see as an enemy or an other. Because as soon as you recognize somebody or something as other than me, it's like you've put a wall to your mother tongue. So it's first of all being able to embrace and recognize them as one, them as us, and this whole process. And I'm so grateful, because I think we're really going through this in Bridging Continents, and listening this morning to Lisa and Brian, and what you're doing is exactly that. And it's just so heartwarming. It's a wonderful process. Thank you.
So I'm not quite sure whether you would like me to say something about what is the focus, because that was what Annelies you were asking, voicing, let's say, picking up voicing. If we want that now, or we just want to continue because we're running out of a bit of the time, or that we want to first hear also from Suzanne, who has a lot of experience around this in Europe as well, before I give that, so that we have some more voices heard, or that we want to stay 10 minutes longer, so that we also have a little bit of that space. So just a sense. And maybe Suzanne, you give the answer. Do you want me to say a little bit more of the focus, or do you just want to check in and share something in this resonance?
Both, if I can, please.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I just came back from my mom, and thank you so much that you're still here. Thank you for your path you're walking, and your talk you're walking. Your resonance, your essence is very important. I think everybody is unique here, and everybody has a voice on its own, their own connection, very important connection to the divine and to others. It's very important to have that counsel, that self-counsel, to be stabilized and to get direct connection and that direct, how do you say that, love from the divine. So I think that's the most important thing, to have that peace and that connection, to below and above and all around. I think that's very important. And I think to support each other is creating community, and we are desperate, kind of desperate, not really over time, to come together and to share and support each other's ways, each other's life, and build friendships and connections, bridge buildings, and everything we can do. So to feel as a community again, and to feel that we are, or we try to be, one family, one step at a time. And I'm working on that since I was 18, in various fields and various organizations, organizing international conferences with all kinds of NGO people, and going to Geneva to conferences inside the UN and outside the UN. There's a lot to do, and there's a lot of good people. And then I created for 4 years Chief Overlooking Horses, Indigenous World Peace and Prayer Day in Zurich, with an organization, with a group together, bringing leaders together. And I was trained by Chief Elaine Jr. as a talking circle leader. And I had a chance to get a dream and the invitation by Brother Phil to join Eagle, Condor, and Quetzal pilgrimage 2 years ago. And I had this huge dream of a Mayan clock activating me on that. Something I can't ignore. And I got really some good help to trust, why do I have this, and what's my personal little role in it. And 29. And I'm still working on that. I'm looking forward to connect the dots, connecting the circles more. I connected the Mother Earth delegation, Yoti, with Brother Phil, and connecting the dots to Uncle Angak, because they're doing the similar things, but I don't know where they meet. Connected them and others, and I'm still doing that. Free will, no charge. And I'm looking forward to deepen that conversation, because it's really important to work, collaborate together.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. Great. So maybe I can share. Let me just check who can. Is there somebody that needs to leave? Because I want to honor the time, and I also want to close it if we're. Yeah, Carol, you have to leave as well, Amelie. Okay. So let's just take a little moment so that you both can check out, and then whoever wants to stay, I will just share a little bit, and you both know my story. Well, I'm going to share anyway, but I'll also we'll see how we can keep track of what we're doing now in a different way, not only recordings. So
It is recorded, so
yes,
we can listen to it afterwards.
I would love us to do something else with it now in this time, with connected to that focus. But do you first want to check out? This is the cliffhanger.
Well, I'm back to this feeling of dancing, what we had in that European field towards the whole weekend, what we shared. I feel like that. So I check out, dance for 1 minute, and then I do my things. Thank you very much for being there today.
Good.
Yeah, I was struggling to be present today. I just have sort of like other little tasks of scooting in on my brain a little firmly. So I apologize. I guess I'll try and make a choice either one way or the other instead of doing both things.
You're doing great work, Cara, and you're really helping us to continue in that European context, actually, because the writing the grants and working on that is also an energy flow of acknowledging the European context, and that's how I'm approaching it anyway. I'm approaching it, and I've really chosen to support us and to do this and have this focus, and I want to continue to do that as an acknowledgement to what is at the heart actually of the European Union, of why we all started to come together, and why my uncle also really worked very hard on that in the 50s, 60s. So setting up the Benelux from the European Commission as the first pilot, that was his project. So it's really you're holding a very important part. So thank you for doing that, and I'll see you later when we continue to do the nitty-gritty on that. But may it go in flow as it is already now, and yeah, know you're serving greatly.
So Kara, dance out with me together from this Zoom. It's hard to leave.
I'll be dancing into the darkness, into the.
Yeah, we're dancing
spaces
into the
for-
darkness, and I also say goodbye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye for those who goes. Okay. So I would like to just share a little bit, very shortly, our theory of change, I would say, and how that relates to this European flow, and what I'm seeing as the next phase, and why I'm really excited also hearing everything that you were all saying. Because the difference when we were coming up with the Caravan of Unity inspiration from Unity Earth in 2019, when Ben Bowler was sharing that with me, and he was seeing how from California, from San Francisco, they would go through the country, through the continent, to meet in New York. No, Washington, the capital. And he was imagining that in 3-4 years' time or something, we would do something like that in Europe. And I said, well, why not sooner? Let's do it earlier, sooner. But I said to him, it cannot be the same format. We don't have a European capital. That's not how I feel that would serve Europe. That's just not how Europe does it in this phase. We might in the future get that, but in 2019 we did not have one capital. We were actually in a phase where Germany was having a change of leadership, and France, and Brexit was going on. So there was actually a lot of chaos in Europe, and we were still all in Europe. So I felt immediately, I saw the rivers that were being mentioned this morning as well, as a flow, the big rivers flowing through this continent that have been so important in how we've developed, because through the rivers, that's also perhaps a little bit biased perspective from the Dutch, because at the end of many of those rivers our country lies, but it's also how we, that it was part of our transportation system to go through and flow. And of course much earlier, but as humans, let's say, so not speaking about the rivers themselves, but and how how the continent was formed even before millions of years. So perhaps honoring what you were bringing in, Juliet. And I was seeing it pop up like lights, places of where there would be people that would like to do something around unity. So because I felt that there might be already groups that would like to work together and to come together and to stream. But I also felt it might first be just acknowledging that we are there, recognizing in the double S curve from the Berkana Institute, it's also the first phase. Let the network become aware of itself, see itself, name itself, put the light on it, and then nourish itself. That's the first step to see how we can come in an emergent process of becoming more aware. So that's what happened. So what we did, I just reached out to all kinds of people, and we had Co-Creating Europe gathering just after that event not in Sedona, but in that other, where Barbara Marx-Hubbard had just passed away. And so I introduced it there. I asked, how would you like to do it? What would you see as Europeans, with Annette Kaiser, with Co-Creating Europe? And I recognized there, it wasn't exactly what we were sharing. that it wasn't the time to do one thing going from A to B to Z, but to have these different things popping up. So we made the place of gathering on the website. We made it in having calls. We did it connected through that way. We did sacred sites because that popped up, and we just all the time were asking, what would you like to do in that specific month, in those weeks? How would you like to show up? What would you like to make visible and aware? And through that, and then we also had these calls. So that's when these calls started. What I'm sensing now is that we're in another phase, of course, because this was Co-Creating Europe was quite some years ago. And that maybe now there is more longing to have some of these streams connecting. So I can imagine, and especially what I'm hearing actually from you, Suzanne, from Anja, also from Karin Lindemans, that these European indigenous leaders groups, often women, but not only women, they have been trying to really, and they have done a lot of work together. It then felt perhaps a little bit more apart or not so active, let's say, to stay connected. And this might be the moment also with the 8th fire and everything that we're doing, that can be revisited and come together in another way that goes beyond our own individual explorations of what our deeper roots are, but by acknowledging that we all have these deeper roots and that it's about sitting together around the 8th fire and moving on. And that the sacred sites and that speaking the mother tongue, practicing that beautiful, beautiful Juliet, and practicing being more open and aware around the geomancy maps and seeing that we can explore how to speak with across species, that the time now is more ready for that, that we are perhaps more practiced for that, and that we do that in that way. So I would love, that's what I'm hearing, that's what I heard in a response, that this might be the time for that, to take that forward in one of the ways. Annelies is also seeing how she wants to reach out to people that might not be so resonant yet. So there are other forms. Miguel, you might have your own ways of doing it. For me, it's kind of like, well, wow, let's start mapping it out. Let's just see who wants to do what. And let's have this, and whether it's Co-Creating Europe, whether we name it in a different way, that can be part of the exploration, that we can really come together and see what is ready and what is not. I'm very willing to hold the space for that. And I don't need to be involved in it all, please. No. Feel your own agency and power, and let's just see what wants to be made visible and is possible also in these times.
Anna-Marie, as you said that, something came to me, and it was just this picture of like the dissolving of the old, the old way of being with Europe. I saw the map of Europe, and it was just that, and it was almost like a coming together, and it was a rebirth and almost like an activation, that the energy just flows, and it's not just Europe, it kind of flows out, to other spaces, other continents, across the seas. It just felt like that. I've never felt that before.
Thank you. Go ahead, Suzanne. And let's be aware of the time, Suzanne.
Yeah.
If it's a lot that you need to share, you might need to read.
I just want to share, acknowledge that.
Please do.
Hello?
Please
Yeah.
do.
Oh, okay. What you just mentioned is since a long time in my heart, and I'm working on that for over 30 years, 38 years now. and I got the call for the Aid Fire as well, and I'm doing a yearly world tour,
Of course.
and also the ceremonies I was sharing last year, so I'm on that already, and I'm like to connect the circles and dots and see where we can meet, or probably we can invite each other, or we can see how it works out. But I'm really happy that I see in you and kindred spirit, and I really acknowledge what you're doing and what you have done.
Well, thank you for holding on to that vocation for so many years, and for continuing to do that. And I can really see that could, I would just love it to flow and to serve you in lightness, in manifesting it now with a lot more ease and joy, and support in whatever way, because you've been holding something for so long. So much gratitude also for that holding, Suzanne. Really appreciate that.
I have to go now, but I'm very grateful and thankful that I met you all, and see you another time. We chat, and let's weave and support and go on with our purpose we feel in our heart, to unite and to feel more safe and more family wise, and support Mother Earth and each other's dreams and passions.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Yes,
Just
maybe.
wanted to add that when I met Karen Lindemann in one of the groups, I was so wondered that it was based in the Netherlands, and that she was working with other shamans in the Netherlands. I cannot recall her name right now, but that does not matter. But that I really felt the potential of this, the potential, and how this really could be merged together now as this longing for, why haven't we got this in Europe? We have so much to say. We have so much to do around these, well, soft skills and bringing them. So
I think maybe, Annelies, we have it in Europe, but it's a different way of manifested and grouped together, because we haven't had a brother Phil. He's done a lot of work here, but of course he has to do it there first, and Europe is different. But I
yes,
think it's important for Karen also that we really acknowledge it's there. It's kind of like waiting, and she has said she wants to offer me whatever training or whatever I need, to take it on. And what we're doing with Bridging Continents is to see, okay, what does that mean, and what would not copy paste what was done, but to take it forward in the form that it can manifest now. So that's the inquiry. So I said I think I would like to stay a little bit in the not knowing first around that, and first go and check in and learn more from Brother Phil and Sister Eshna and all these things, and now to see what can become visible.
yes.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I wanted to address. It showed itself, yes, now. So,
Yes.
and that's only
Yes.
in December, yes.
And thank you for noticing.
I need to go.
Yeah, I'm also.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
and good luck
Okay.
with the preparations for OI. I'm following it. I don't think I'll join the calls, but I'm following the things that you're doing. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Blessings.
Much love. Bye bye.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. I have to leave too.
Hmm?
Much love. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you too, and see you whenever you want to see. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, feeling this enormous love espresso is what I call that. And this is what I want to check out with. enormous. It's a huge field, and I feel that I only have to think of you all, and then it's there. So I want to bring that out in the world, and just being the love and attract what wants to come to us in our purposes. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annelies. Thank you.
Yes, also much gratitude. And it feels so exciting that we're kind of breaking through, bringing down the silos of our old identities, and the openness to be able to integrate with our greater family, including the star family, all those who can be open to communicate with us once we open our hearts and start this and continue with the process we're on. Doing so beautifully. Thank you. And I hope your husband feels better soon, Anne-Marie.
Yes, I'll go up quickly and have a look. Yes, yes. Yeah, maybe, thank you. You already put some words down, Annelies. I'm wondering whether we want to be using the Peralandra way of giving some focus, as you were mentioning focus, if you would enjoy that for this. And I can imagine that perhaps Juliette and Anya would also be open to work around that, to come up with some kind of a way that we can add to it for this part of what we're doing.
Wonderful. That might be wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, let it yeah, maybe just
Yes, of course, yes. It's like making the sentence for the power of 8. So this is about
you have
precise.
such a talent for that, and I'm already seeing you doing that. I've seen you in the chat. I haven't been able to read it all, but I saw you put some things down. I thought, oh yeah. She's collecting and listening and doing the magic with the wordings, which I think is
A little bit more. Your words were very, very resonant just now. So this is important. This theory of change,
yeah.
the S curve is beautiful, that everyone can know about that as a holding.
Yeah.
Well, mother tongue. I will put it in the chat and then you have it still. So if give me just some seconds, then I put it. And I say yes to what you ask. Yes.
Okay, good, wonderful. And I would like to see also if we can then, when we after the call, that we think about, are we going to use a mirror board, or where do we collect stuff apart from the WhatsApp?
Yeah.
And can we give, and we can take turn for that, can we give just a few sentences of what was at the heart of our conversation here, so that it becomes a little bit more alive, for others, but also for ourselves, and that we can also see the journey that we're making by bringing in these magic words, practicing that. Because yes, we have the recordings, but we're not doing something with it, and I think that's also not needed. It's great that we're having a library there, and I feel that the call that is being made now is to come into another form of presence, and out of that presence some actions that could help us also ourselves to stay in that heart and to connect to, but also reach out to other people and to really make next steps.
Maybe a little bit on this topic. It came to me, I'm just working on it. I've just put in a mission for 2024, which is kind of a calling for a co-mission. But it's just, I think a lot of us have had a background, been immersed in Barbara Marx Hubbard's work. And, maybe none of us feel that proficient enough to start teaching it. But what came to me the other day was that there's such an urgent need so fast to do a grassroots conscious evolution education. So my call that I'm kind of working on is across wherever anybody is, if they feel that they would like to, in whatever capacity, start a little group or how to spread this conscious education and a conscious evolution education, and maybe just get together and we can share it so that we can, as you say, Annalise, there's so many people who are probably on the cusp of wanting to join this, but they don't have access to the knowledge that we all have, that is our basis. And the way that she has presented that knowledge and experience is so accessible. And maybe it wasn't so much up until recently because a lot of people weren't drawn to it and still felt it was a bit like this. But I think now there's more and more people who are really would be open and ready to receive it, to be able to come on board. So my question would be, I just have to formulate, is to put it out that whoever is interested, whoever's got enough knowledge and experience, rather than thinking I'm not professional enough, I can't do this yet, to come together, let's talk about sharing our experiences, our knowledge, our skills, and whatever, so that people feel that in whichever community they feel that they can do it, no matter how many people, 2 or 3 or much bigger, whatever, to start talking more freely with others about all this knowledge that we all hold, but it's kind of like there's a silo around us, and to start pushing out that silo too, and yeah.
So yes, great, and maybe also speak with Hasina, because we're looking at I've set up a HOLON on course development and sales because we are getting the question again and again to share more of our knowledge as well as the Hague Center. You know, there are all kinds of topics that have come past last year, and you know, John Raymond and others were saying, but we already have done this for years. Why don't we know that? Why don't you share that? I'm not a teacher. We're not really a teacher like that. I'm not that kind of teacher. But of course, I want to share it all. I mean, anything. So we're looking at how to overcome this. I'm not a teacher. Yes, I can do something. Find forms for it and also make it more visible. Also in the modern world as a practice, but also in other ways. So, and Hasina is leading that at the moment, keeping that fed with energy, let's say. So it's not about who's leading what, but it's about, you know, is there somebody that's holding the HOLON alive and making sure that we can continue to go on. And what I have also have envisioned, but just haven't put into practice, is that for bridging continents, you know, I was looking at what is this, how do we do this, how do we manifest, how does it relate? It's been a very strong call from Brother Phil to me, can I do this? And then we set up this council. We did this in a way that, well, as I've done it, and I would like to make an icon of it for it. I want it to be more a HOLON, which energy can land in, which we can work with. And I was in the mountains with my husband and my daughter and her boyfriend to look for something for her, actually. And we stepped into in a small little town, into a very tiny jewelry. And the first thing we saw was this. And I feel this is the logo for me of Bridget Contracts.
Oh, can you hold it? Ah. Can I make a picture?
Yes, of course. I can also send you a picture because I made a picture
Yes,
of it.
beautiful.
I can send it. I can put it in the chat, in the WhatsApp.
Wow, that's amazing.
I am seeing as a logo, I'm seeing just like the dragons, a little bit of that we had of the awakening to humanity, this circle, but then of fire, of movement, of going round, like we have in these constellations. That sometimes the energy just doesn't want to land, but it just wants to circle around and hold it. I think that's what we're doing, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what we're So what you're seeing now in Hasina's thing? There, it's like a toroidal flow. If you look at the rainbow that is around on her picture, I don't know if you see
Yes.
that, and I also have.
Yeah.
It has to do with that energy. But then
Yes.
this, and I gave one when I went to. So I'm wearing it, and I took one to Brother Phil and Adriana and Eshna when I was there because when I was there in White Rock in September, that was actually for me another initiation of really standing for this Bridging Continents Council, this Bridging Continents way of working, and that has that's only been continuously, let's say, reactivated and shared, and I woke up this morning very early, and I got this image again. And I said, okay, so how am I going to get this done? Who's going to make this? Maybe I should ask the Ben Bowler's designer who made the dragons, because I so love that one. But yeah, and now this is coming up. So, and these calls with Annette Kaiser and with Emmanuel. So Europe is calling again. That's clearly Europe is calling.
When you mentioned the holon, for which you'd like a symbol, is a holon bridging continents, or is it a holon of Europe coming into it herself in a new way?
I was speaking about holonic. In the Hague Center we have a holonic structure, so we structure ourselves in holons around topics, projects, whatever. So I was sharing that in the Hague Center. We now have this new holon, which really is about, can we do course development and sales with more focus, not just a little bit, but focus. And can we really work on that and see how we can get that activated? So that was when I was first naming it. I also have here on my screen, I put the link there, how to help to heal Europe, which works with different types of holons that we do energetic work with. So the holonic structure, holo movement also works with holons. So it's really, so it's holonic structures, it's regeneration, it's bioregional, developments. These things are coming up more and more.
Yes.
Yeah. And now I have to go and have a look at my husband.
Yes. And you'll be in Ibiza, no?
Yes, I would really love to speak with you about that.
Yeah.
And to see how and who else, because I've promised that we will inspire 5 important network people to come and join from Europe, really focused on Europe. So that's the promise I made to Emmanuel. I said, okay, 5. Let's go. Let's go for 10 or whatever. Doesn't matter. But I could put a signature under 5.
So you can put me down as one.
Yes.
Well, you can put me. I will be the space holder for whatever needs to be done in this, because I feel really I had a resonance on that when I heard about it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of the important persons. That's not what I'm suggesting, but it's more like being of service being in the shadow of someone, something like that.
No, not in the shadow. That I wouldn't use that word, but I think it's really important, and you're doing really important work as well. But it's depending on who is and I still haven't got exactly clear who are the other guests that are going to be there and what's the program. So I've said, okay, I can sign for 5, but I do need to know the program. I do need to know what we're going to do, and I also want some influence in that. And they've said yes to all that. So. But I haven't.
If it needs to be an influential or important person, I'm not one of those either. I'm just coming.
He very much enjoyed our call last week. So, because I spoke with him and Annette Kaiser on Friday morning, so he was very, very appreciative. So
maybe it's an idea to invite her as well in one of our bridging continents soon.
Yes. But now she's in India, So,
Yes.
but when she comes back, oh, I'm sure she would really love to join. And I think we have, you know, we can bring in more people. Yeah. Now I really need to go. So thank you so much.
I like to save the chat, but I cannot see how I can do that now. Oh, there it is. Yes. Thank you. I needed to save it. Yes.
Yes, please. I would also like to see more
Got
of
it.
it.
Got it.
But you'll do that, yeah? You'll put it
Yeah.
when it's necessary. You know, maybe we can create a Google Doc, or think about if we want a Miro board and set something up or whatever, without it being heavy. Not heavy. No, not work. Lightness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Thank you so much. So lovely to see you all. Bless.
Thank you. Wat had ze gezegd?
Hi, Anna Marie.